12 to 3 p.m.
It's 23 minutes past 1 right now. We are about to have a conversation with a senior consultant at Omnicor. And at the core of what Omnicor does is that they come into organizations. They're able to work and develop both people and organizations through science-based business solutions. They provide a whole array of products and services that are set out or that are there to increase effectiveness through which companies can identify and manage talent. And today we're talking to Colleen McLintock, and she's a senior consultant at Omnicor, and she specializes in executive training and career development. And the reason why she's on the line to us at the moment is that there are a lot of people, we're in November right now, you're looking back at this year and you are already starting to consider and think about what you want out of the following year. So there are a lot of people at the moment who start considering changing their jobs around this time of year. And is it a bad decision? Is it a good decision to make this change at the moment? And finding a new job is it's not the most fun of exercises. It's a very difficult one. And there is a very little professional help that is available out there to help people in how to navigate finding a job. So Colleen is going to talk us through this. Good afternoon, Colleen.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks very much for having me on the show.
So around this time of year, what are some of the thoughts that are going through people's minds?
Well, I think that you're right. I think people are getting a bit edgy, but a lot of that's got to do with burnout. So I would caution people very carefully if they're starting to make life-changing decisions at this point. One can be emotional about things. You kind of had it with your company and your colleagues, and the first thing that comes into mind is, well, perhaps I should leave.
Yeah.
So it's also typically a time when the market slows down. So you have to consider things like your bonus, and you need to consider that looking for work, and especially if you're making a career change, can take up to 3 to 6 months.
Yes, it's got a protracted exercise, and increasingly so, whether it's people entering the job market or people just moving from one organization to another.
Correct. And I think this is why this topic is so close to my heart, because when you don't have a job, it is actually a life crisis for you. Yeah. And we see, especially in our communities, that many people are supporting not just themselves, but other family members. So the impact is huge. And unfortunately, we don't teach South Africans how to look for work. So we give you a beautiful degree when you go to university or you tertiary, and we say, there you go, you're equipped, now off you go and get a job. And that's not how it happens in places like America, for example, where they are taught from a very young age how to be self-promoting, what it's going to take. It's that you need to be very aggressive. And in a little bit of research we've been doing, we're looking at 250 CVs to be sent out to get one real job interview. And what I mean by a real job interview is one with a company, not necessarily a recruitment agent who's obviously going to try on their behalf to help you.
So I can see how people just get dejected after a while. 200 CVs just for one interview?
And now we haven't even got into the technicality of how does your CV look.
Yeah.
So I have a hobby of collecting CVs, because some of the things people put on their CVs or their resumes, and then they're wondering why they're not getting invited for the interview. But again, nobody teaches South Africans the rules. So HR know the rules, recruitment agents know the rules. It's a bit like playing soccer, and no one's taught you there's actually an offside rule. Yeah. So especially our youth. So they don't pay a lot of attention to punctuation. They're putting SMS language on their resumes. They're not selling themselves in the document. So then they put in all this effort into sending out 250 really bad resumes that's even not going to get you that interview. So that's why the book I wrote is called The Business of Becoming Employed, because you are running a business. You are your own brand. And you were so right when you said looking for work is not a nice job. Because it's so emotional, and you're so close to the whole thing. And you would just wish that someone would just come and offer you, a knight in shining armor, would headhunt you, and it would all be seamless. Well, it's never going to happen like that anymore.
Yeah. No, of course, we're living in very highly competitive times. Whether you are employed or not, there is the resources are scarce, positions and opportunities are scarce. So, as you said, you have to be aggressive. But what are some of the basics that we need to remember when we do look for employment? And you said this isn't the best time of year, but when is it the best time?
So I don't want to sort of spread that urban legend that it isn't, because, you know, you may actually find a brilliant job at this time of the year.
Yeah.
It isn't an absolute definite. We know that the market, every place is kind of the appetite for things to be happening in organizations that's winding down. But tomorrow somebody may urgently need the particular role that you're in, and it might happen for you. I would caution people to start an aggressive job search right now. But I think if you're looking at, let's say you've decided January, February, I'm going to be shifting and this is exactly what I want, you have to prepare. The one thing is you need a job coach, a job search coach to help you write your resume. You should not be doing that yourself.
Okay.
So it's an art. Writing a resume is an art, and you need to be a writer. And many of us are not able to do that. The other thing I highly recommend is you have a mock interview on camera, because, you know, we often don't realize how we come across.
Yes.
So I always say to my clients, you must understand that when you leave the room, HR gossip about you. And we don't want that gossip to be bad. Like, for example, did you see the clothes that person was wearing? Or so unfortunately, again, and it breaks my heart because South Africans have not been taught the rules. Go to somebody who can give you an objective, sort of tough love in a way, but not that it'll affect your self-esteem, but say, this is how you do, tell me about yourself. That is the classic question. Most interviewers start with it. And we know, research shows that you're getting that job in the first 5 to 10 seconds. You know how quickly we make an impression of someone. So get yourself sorted out, know how you're coming across. And you know, the other thing that's fascinating is that job seekers often try to cost save. So they think, well, I'm not employed, so I can't go have my hair done, I shouldn't do my nails, and I'm not going to wear my best outfit. But no, you need to. I often say to somebody who in a mock interviews, how old is that suit? And they'll look at me so shocked. They'll say, well, you know, it was from a wedding 10 years ago. So no, you need to show up there where you're feeling confident and you're selling your brand.
Well, I think, Colleen, we need to get you in to give us advice on how to actually be aggressive and how to get the job and to prepare for it. I'm really intrigued by some of the ideas that you've been sharing so far. Is the book available in stores?
I think you can get it online. So if anybody's struggling, they can just email me, Colleen at omnicor.co.za, and I will put them in touch with the book. It's a very practical book. It's a South African lens, because most of the job search books are American, and it's just not the same market.
Absolutely.
And if there's any way that I can help any person, it just would thrill me, because I see the people on a daily basis who are suffering. And even if you're wanting a promotion, it can be just as daunting.
Well, no, Colleen, my worry is that there's just so much to talk about. So can you promise us that we'll make time and we can go through the entire gambit of this conversation?
100% promise you.
Wonderful. I think there's a lot that people could benefit from. Thank you so much for the past couple of minutes, Colleen.
Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
You too. I honestly wish that we had more time with her, because that sounds like it's great advice, especially in the market that we're living in. The book is called The Business of Becoming Employed, and Colleen is the author of that book, and she's also a senior consultant at Omnicor. That's Colleen McLintock. And I think we should look at a time. We should look at a time as soon as possible to talk to her, because her firm belief is that, you know, this time of year, you are feeling edgy, you want to make a change, but it might not be the best time, especially when you're emotional, to start thinking or embarking on that very aggressive, concerted job search. And I think it's advice all of us could benefit from. So let's see when we can get her in so we could have a full-length discussion with her where you can also pose your questions.